Most of us think we're already pretty good at giving advice. We've got experience, solutions, answers, and we're always ready to step in and help. But what if that constant urge to help is actually hurting more than helping? What if real leadership isn't about having the answers but about asking the right questions? Welcome to The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay Stanier. A book that doesn't just tweak your leadership style, it turns it inside out. In today's fast-paced, high-pressure world, the best leaders are not advice-giving machines. They're not micromanagers or problem fixers. They're coaches, people who know how to unlock potential in others by listening deeply, staying curious, and asking better questions. And that's exactly what this audiobook will help you do. You're about to discover 7 powerful coaching questions. Simple, short, and shockingly effective. These aren't theoretical. They're practical tools you can use right now in team meetings, one-on-ones, performance reviews, or even everyday conversations. Through this summary, we'll break down each question, show you why it works, and how it transforms the way people think, behave, and grow. You'll also learn how to overcome the habits that block good coaching, like the need to rescue, the urge to jump in with solutions, and the habit of talking more than listening. Whether you're a manager, mentor, entrepreneur, parent, or just someone who wants to communicate better, this is your invitation to lead with intention, presence, and impact. Say less. Ask more. Change the way you lead forever. Hit subscribe, grab your notebook, and let's dive into the coaching habit, where leadership meets transformation, one question at a time. The Coaching Habit. Say Less, Ask More and Change the Way You Lead Forever by Michael Bungay Stanier is a game-changing book that challenges everything we've been taught about leadership, communication, and influence. In a world where everyone seems to be in a rush to speak, solve, and direct, this book offers a bold, refreshing approach. What if the most effective leaders speak less and ask more? Michael Bungay Stanier, a renowned leadership coach and founder of Box of Crayons, believes that the true power of leadership lies not in telling people what to do, but in empowering them to find their own answers. His approach is not based on lofty theory or abstract ideas, but on everyday habits that any leader, manager, teacher, or parent can adopt to make their conversations more impactful, their relationships more meaningful, and their results more sustainable. At the heart of the coaching habit are 7 powerful questions. These questions are short, simple, and remarkably effective. They're designed to get straight to the point, cut through the noise, and help people reflect, take ownership, and grow. From what's on your mind to and what else? And what's the real challenge here for you? Each question is a tool, a way to coach in real time in real situations with real people. But this book is more than a list of questions. It's a practical guide to developing a habitual coaching mindset. Stanier combines neuroscience, behavioral psychology, and years of coaching experience to show how we can break old patterns of advice giving and step into a more curious, empowering role. The goal isn't to turn you into a professional coach. It's to help you become a more effective leader, colleague, and communicator by building new habits that stick. The Coaching Habit teaches that coaching isn't something you save for formal meetings or annual reviews. It's something you integrate into daily conversations, quickly, easily, and meaningfully. The result? Teams that are more engaged, individuals who are more accountable, and leaders who are far more effective and respected. Here at Detailed Book Summaries, we believe that one great book can shift your mindset, your habits, and even your future. That's why we've taken this powerful book and distilled its core insights into a practical, engaging summary you can learn in just minutes. Whether you're leading a team or looking to lead yourself more effectively, the lessons from the Coaching Habit can guide you toward becoming a more thoughtful, impactful leader, starting today. Chapter 1. Build the Habit of Coaching. In the opening chapter of The Coaching Habit, Michael Bungay Stanier challenges the traditional role many leaders play, that of being the answer machine. He argues that the key to stronger leadership is not giving advice but asking better questions. The first major shift he introduces is a mindset change. Stop defaulting to advice giving and start cultivating curiosity. He highlights that most people, especially in leadership roles, are conditioned to jump in with solutions because it feels good to be needed and helpful. But this creates dependency rather than growth in those being led. Stanier introduces the concept of the advice monster, that internal impulse that makes us feel compelled to share solutions. It interrupts the potential for meaningful dialogue, steals the spotlight, and hinders real development. The more we feed this monster, the more we rob others of the opportunity to think for themselves. Instead, he proposes that the real power of leadership lies in staying curious longer and resisting the temptation to jump straight into action. He frames the process of building a coaching habit within the familiar structure of habit formation. Cue, routine, reward. When someone presents a problem, the cue, instead of jumping in with advice, the routine, leaders are encouraged to pause and ask a good question. This shift in behavior becomes rewarding not only because it lightens the leader's burden, but because it empowers others to grow. Coaching in this model becomes less about formal sessions and more about day-to-day moments, conversations in hallways, quick chats, impromptu Zoom calls. Stanier makes it clear that coaching isn't reserved for professional coaches. Anyone can build the habit. The challenge is to make asking questions a regular practice, turning curiosity into a leadership reflex. By doing so, leaders help unlock potential in others, create more capable teams, and reduce burnout. The heart of this transformation starts with one powerful reminder: stay curious a little longer and rush to action a little slower. This simple yet profound shift is the foundation of becoming a more impactful leader, and it's the first step in building the coaching habit. Chapter 2. The Kickstart Question. What's on your mind? Chapter 2 introduces what Michael Bungay Stanier calls the Kickstart Question, a deceptively simple phrase. What's on your mind? This question is your golden ticket to diving beneath the surface and unlocking real conversations that matter. It's designed to open the door wide to what's important, not just what's urgent. And the beauty lies in its openness. You're not boxing anyone into a category or forcing a direction. You're inviting them to bring up what's top of mind, which immediately gives the conversation relevance and energy. Stanier explains that in the hustle of leadership and management, most conversations are tactical, rushed, and surface level. We ask how someone is doing, they say fine, and we move on. But with what's on your mind, you get permission to cut the fluff and go straight to something deeper, more pressing, and often more meaningful. It's like giving someone the keys to the conversation and saying, "Take me where we need to go." The power of this question is in how it balances structure with freedom. It gives direction. There's clearly an expectation of dialogue, but it doesn't dictate the topic. It helps bypass the small talk and allows leaders to step into the role of a coach with minimal friction. You're not grilling anyone. You're not taking over. You're opening a door. Stanier also addresses the follow-up. After asking what's on your mind, you don't need to jump in with solutions or push your own agenda. The trick is to hold the space, listen, and maybe offer a gentle nudge with something like, "And what else?" which he'll unpack more in the next chapter. By starting with this question, you change the tone of your conversations from transactional to transformational. It's a habit you can build into every interaction, whether you're managing a team, mentoring a peer, or just trying to be more present with the people around you. It's simple yet powerful, and it lays the foundation for the kind of conversations that build trust, spark insight, and create change. So next time you're in a conversation that matters, try it. What's on your mind? Then lean in, listen, and let the real talk begin. Chapter 3. The EW Question. And what else? Chapter 3 introduces what might be the most powerful question in your coaching toolkit. And it only has 3 words. And what else? Michael Bungay Stanier calls it the AWE question, because that's exactly what it produces. It creates space, creates possibility, and it cuts through the knee-jerk reflex of jumping into action or advice giving. With "and what else?" you're not just continuing the conversation, you're deepening it. Stanier lays it out plainly. The first answer someone gives you is rarely the only answer, and almost never the best one. People are quick to speak, but often slow to reveal. That first response might be true, but it's usually just the tip of the iceberg. When you follow up with "and what else?" you're saying, "I'm still listening. I believe you have more to say. Let's explore this further." It's also a powerful tool for the person asking the questions. As a leader or coach, the temptation is always there to jump in with your thoughts, your solutions, your experiences. But "and what else?" puts the spotlight back on the other person. It holds you in that space of curiosity where real coaching happens. It helps you avoid being the advice giver in chief and keeps the conversation focused on the other person's growth, not your expertise. Stanier offers another bonus. It works almost anywhere. Use it when someone presents a challenge. Use it when a team member shares a plan. Use it when someone gives feedback or when they're stuck. It's versatile, it's respectful, and it invites more. And here's the secret. And what else? Doesn't just keep the conversation going, it improves it. It buys time for thinking. It encourages self-reflection. And sometimes it leads to the real issue, the real insight, or the real breakthrough that never would have surfaced with just the first answer. So next time you're talking with someone and they give you an answer, resist the urge to move on or offer your take. Instead, lean in and ask, and what else? Then ask it again. Maybe even a third time. You'll be amazed at where that simple question takes you. Chapter 4. The focus question. What's the real challenge here for you? This chapter zooms in on clarity, laser-sharp clarity. Michael Bungay Stanier introduces us to the focus question. What's the real challenge here for you? It sounds simple, but it's surgical in its precision. It cuts through the noise, distractions, and vague storytelling to target what truly matters. People often walk into conversations with a swirling cloud of issues. They'll say things like, everything's a mess, or I've got too much going on. They talk about what others are doing wrong, or they get lost in hypothetical problems. The focus question brings them back to themselves and back to reality. When you ask, what's the real challenge here for you? You're saying, let's stop spinning. Let's talk about what's actually bothering you. Let's find the core issue. The magic lies in the phrasing. What's the real challenge? Helps identify what truly needs attention. Adding, for you, personalizes it. It forces responsibility and introspection. Suddenly, the spotlight shifts from blaming others or fixating on external chaos to examining internal resistance, personal fear, or hidden desires. Stanier points out that coaching without focus is like trying to catch fog. You need to pinpoint the real issue. And often, even the person you're coaching doesn't know what that is until they're asked. The focus question helps them stop rambling and start revealing. And it's not just about asking the question once. This chapter encourages persistence. After someone answers, don't assume that's it. Follow up with, and what else? From Chapter 3, or even re-ask the focus question. Each round brings more clarity, more honesty, and often a breakthrough. This question is also a leadership superpower. It keeps you from becoming the fixer, the rescuer, or the problem solver. Instead, you become the one who helps others solve their own problems, which is what true coaching is all about. When people are overwhelmed, when they're blaming others, when they can't figure out where to begin, this is the question you ask. What's the real challenge here for you? It invites ownership. It reveals the truth. And it unlocks growth. Chapter 5, the foundation question. What do you want? This chapter goes straight to the heart of human behavior. Michael Bungay Stanier introduces the foundation question. What do you want? It's deceptively simple but undeniably powerful. Why? Because most people don't actually know what they want. They think they do until they're asked. The foundation question cuts through the surface noise of workplace complaints, emotional fog, or decision paralysis. When you ask someone what they want, you're asking them to stop reacting and start reflecting. You're inviting them to get honest with themselves and with you. In coaching conversations, things can get complicated fast. People might start talking in circles, getting lost in blame, fear, or indecision. But by asking, what do you want? You recenter the conversation. You shift the focus away from what's wrong or who's to blame, and toward personal agency. You're saying, let's stop the story. Let's start the truth. The brilliance of this question is that it doesn't just clarify, it connects. People often feel frustrated or stuck because their wants and needs are either unclear or unmet. By naming the want, they get closer to naming the need. And by naming the need, they get closer to taking meaningful action. Stanier also makes it clear. This question isn't just for the coachee. It's for you too. When you're frustrated in a conversation, when you feel like you're not getting through, or when you're falling into rescuer mode, stop and ask yourself, what do I want in this moment? It brings you back to intentional leadership. What makes this question foundational is that it uncovers motivation. And motivation is the engine of change. Without it, people stay stuck. But when you help someone connect to what they actually want, whether it's clarity, success, respect, freedom, or just to be heard, you help them move. So when in doubt, when a conversation is drifting, when emotions are running high, bring it back with this simple, elegant question. What do you want? It's the question that builds trust, sparks action, and lays the foundation for real coaching impact. Chapter 6. The lazy question. How can I help? Most leaders rush in to solve problems. Someone shows signs of struggle, and immediately we jump into action, offering advice, solutions, and rescue missions. But in Chapter 6 of The Coaching Habit, Michael Bungay Stanier challenges that instinct with what he calls the lazy question. How can I help? And while it might sound lazy on the surface, it's actually one of the smartest, most empowering questions a leader can ask. This question does something radical. It forces you to stop assuming you know what's best. It stops you from diving into fix-it mode, which, let's be honest, is often more about satisfying our own ego than actually being useful. How can I help? Puts the responsibility back on the person you're coaching. It invites them to express their real needs instead of sitting back and passively receiving your help. The beauty of this question lies in its simplicity and power. First, it prevents unnecessary rescuing. Instead of taking ownership of the problem, you're giving the other person room to think it through and own the outcome. Second, it clarifies expectations. We often assume we know what someone wants, but more often than not, we're wrong. They might want support, not a solution. They might want empathy, not a checklist. Asking, how can I help? Cuts through the fog. It also strengthens commitment. When people tell you how they want to be helped, they're more invested in the process. It's their idea, their plan, and that leads to action. Of course, asking this question takes courage. It makes you vulnerable. You might not get the answer you expect. You might feel unqualified to deliver what they ask. But that's the point. Real coaching isn't about being the hero. It's about being a partner in their growth. Stanier gives a crucial warning too. Don't ask this question unless you truly mean it. Don't use it as a script or a checkbox. Ask with intention. Ask with presence. Be ready to hear the answer, and more importantly, to respect it. So the next time you're tempted to jump in with solutions, try something different. Pause. Look them in the eye. Ask, how can I help? And then listen. You might find that the most powerful kind of leadership is the one that listens more than it speaks. Chapter 7. The learning question. What was most useful for you? As leaders, mentors, or even just friends, we often end conversations with a nod and a good talk. But in The Coaching Habit, Michael Bungay Stanier flips that on its head with Chapter 7's powerful tool. The learning question. What was most useful for you? This question isn't about you. It's not fishing for compliments. It's about cementing growth. Why does this question matter so much? Because we don't learn by hearing, we learn by reflecting. When someone answers, what was most useful for you? They're forced to stop and think about what landed, what clicked, and what they'll carry forward. That moment of reflection turns a conversation into a catalyst for action. Stanier points out that this question also closes the loop. Too many conversations are filled with good advice or coaching that vanishes the moment the person walks out the door. But when you ask them what they found useful, you make the learning stick. It's like hitting save on a file before you shut down your computer. It locks the insight in place. Another benefit? It gives you as a coach direct feedback. You learn what's working. You discover the phrases, perspectives, or moments that hit hardest. Over time, this helps you refine your style, cut the fluff, and deliver value more effectively. And there's a bonus twist. This question deepens connection. When someone realizes that you genuinely care about what they took away from the conversation, not just how wise you sounded, they feel seen and supported. It strengthens the coaching bond. It shifts the spotlight from you to them, which is exactly where it should be. Stanier makes a key recommendation. Ask this question every time. Make it your go-to wrap-up. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Just a simple, hey, before we wrap, what was most useful for you today? That one line builds a habit of learning and accountability. So if you want to elevate your conversations from merely being helpful in the moment to being transformational long after, don't just give advice. Don't just drop wisdom and walk away. End by asking the question that keeps growing in their mind. What was most useful for you? That's how real change begins. The Coaching Habit by Michael Bungay Stanier is more than just a leadership book. It's a practical guide to transforming how we communicate, manage, and inspire others. At its core, This book teaches us that the best leaders aren't those who talk the most or provide all the answers, but those who master the art of asking thoughtful, powerful questions. By embracing the habit of curiosity and using the 7 essential questions outlined in the book, leaders can break free from the trap of overhelping and micromanaging. These questions are simple yet deeply effective, helping you stay present, unlock deeper thinking in others, and create space for real growth and development. From the Kickstart question to the learning question, each one builds a foundation for better conversations, stronger relationships, and lasting impact. This habit of coaching, saying less and asking more, isn't just a technique, it's a mindset shift. Whether you're leading a team, mentoring a colleague, or simply trying to become a better communicator, this book offers a practical, engaging roadmap to elevate your influence and effectiveness. In a world full of noise and fast answers, the coaching habit reminds us that transformation begins with a single question. So if you're ready to change the way you lead forever, start by asking more and saying less. If you found value in this summary, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment sharing your favorite takeaway, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful book summaries on leadership, mindset, communication, and personal development. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload, and keep growing one habit at a time.